Subscribe and click the notification bell to stay updated with the latest videos from School of Technology Management and Engineering and MIMS Indore.
A very pleasant evening to one and all present here. I, Rishi Patangya, on behalf of School of Technology Management and Engineering, NMIMS Indore, welcome you all to the second season of Sunday Tech series. As we know, without knowledge, action is useless, and knowledge without action is futile. Therefore, starting with an exceptionally small idea of sharing knowledge with everyone around the globe, students of NMIMS came up with the idea to host a series of webinars introduced as the Sunday Tech series. On 13th June 2021, we had our first session of Sunday Tech series season 2, which was on the topic competitive coding with C++ by our session experts Ms. Prisha Sharma and Mr. Suyash Kaur. Before we move ahead, I'd first like to explain the flow of today's session. Up front, we have a question answer session with Mr. Ankur Paliwal, our industry expert for today, which will help us all to enhance our knowledge. Following the completion of the same, we'll be starting with the much awaited session of learning, GUI game programming with Java. Attendees are requested to keep in mind that after the completion of the session, the link for the feedback form and quiz will be floated in the chat box. Everyone is requested to fill it as certificates will be provided on the basis of submission of these forms only. Moving ahead, currently working as the consultant at MasterCard and having a previous work experience as tech lead at RiseSmart and software development team lead at Amdocs, along with more than 14 years of industry experience. Today we have the honor of welcoming Mr. Ankur Paliwal as our industry expert. We feel privileged to have you today with us, sir. I would now request Amisha Dubey and Dhruv Jain for further proceedings.
So yeah, thank you. Thank you very much for the kind introduction.
Hello, sir. We welcome you again to the second session of Sunday Tech Series Season 2. So let's start. The first question we have for you is, you work as a consultant in MasterCard. Can you tell us more about your role?
Sure. So yeah, first I would like to thank and good afternoon, everybody, for having me here. It's a pleasure to attend this session with all of you guys. I mean, after a long time, I'm within a group of students, so feeling excited about it. Now coming to the question which you were asking me about my role. So my role in MasterCard currently, it's a technical role. It's the leadership role, which is on the technical side. So, generally we have this phenomena that leadership role is, managerial role, or you need to manage teams, or you need to manage projects, or, that kind of job that you do. But now it has been changed. So, organizations are looking for technical people to grow in the leadership role as well. Okay, so what kind of leadership that they expect from us there is that we provide technical leadership. We provide them the guidance on what technologies to use, how to use, where to use, and what would be the pros and cons of using different technologies. Okay, so my job currently includes architecturing, designing, providing the solutions of complex problems, creating new features. So basically it's more around designing, and then I do hands-on coding as well. So I'm involved in day-to-day development activities as well.
Great, sir. This sounds quite interesting. And we are sure some of us might consider taking such a job role in the future. A leadership on the tech side attracts a lot of people nowadays.
Yep, definitely. I'm sure, people would be interested.
Sir, you have also worked as a tech lead. So could you please elaborate on some of the software projects you worked on and which programming language was most helpful to you?
Sure. So in past 14 years, I have worked on multiple projects. Uh, in this time frame, I won't be able to provide that much of detail, but I'll try to summarize it. So I have worked on telecommunication domain a lot. So while working with Amdocs, I was working in billing, AR, and collection modules. Okay, so those modules are, let's say you have a postpaid connection. So how the billing happens for that connection? Okay, how once you make the payment, how that payment gets processed. But and also if you don't make the payment, then what happens after that? If some of you have that experience, then that's all, it's is done by the softwares. Okay, so that was one of the major time that I have spent. I have worked on couple of HR services products as well, and currently working on payment domain. So with MasterCard is in payment domain, so that's where I'm working currently. Now about your second question, which is about the language used. uh, my career started with COBOL. Okay, initially first few months I started working with COBOL, then moved to C, then moved to C++, then moved to Java. Okay, and let me tell you, the technologies keep changing. Today it's a world of cloud, microservices, and various other things. So they keep on changing. It's how you adapt to them. And in terms of which technology is helpful, I would say, Java is really helpful because the background that I've had started with COBOL, you need to write sentences. They are English sentences only. C, you need to write a lot of code. C++ is not IDE friendly. I mean, you really struggle to write good code there, which is auto completed and have good IDE support. And it's not that vast. If you want to build enterprise level applications, then Java is the language which is being used industry wide, not in just single industry, but in multiple industries. Okay, so Java has been really helpful for me. It's not just Java now, it's, the Spring frameworks come with it. Spring, Spring Boot, you guys have also been learning it, I guess. So yep, I mean, Java was really helpful. And coming to my role as a tech lead, so I had got chance to do some people management there, and along with the technical work, the development, the designing, solutioning, and all. So that's what I was doing in my previous roles. I hope, Dhruv, I
Yeah,
covered
sure.
your question. Yeah.
So our expert has experienced multiple projects, telecommunication, collection of modules, even HR services. Also, sir, you provided us the path on how to learn, like the sequence of programming languages to make our future bright. So that was very insightful. And okay, so I think we all should start learning this all the programming languages so to make our future grow. And so, sir, since we are talking about programming languages, so you can tell us about the importance of Java in today's world. Like, what are the areas where it is applicable, or
Mhm.
is it a necessity for a programmer to know Java?
Yeah. So as I mentioned, major enterprise level applications, okay, they are built using Java. Now, why Java? Okay, first of all, Java has proven record. The program works. The applications, many banking applications you are using currently, it works. It rarely fails, or rarely if you feel any disturbance with it. Okay, so it's the programming language which has been used for past couple of years, more than 10 years. Java is dominating in this area, and if you want to build enterprise level application, then it's the by default thought as of now that you need to use Java. Okay, they are evolving. Java used to provide their releases first, in few years. Now every 6 months you see a new release coming from Java. So we, most of the organizations currently working with Java 8. It's good to know Java 11 these days, and we have Java 16 as well. Okay, so it's running. I mean, it was losing a pace with Python and all, but now it's trying to catch up. Okay, in that area as well. So Java is very helpful, and it's not necessary that you know Java. I mean, it's up to your wish. Uh, Nobody wants that, you know, that you must learn Java. Nobody would say that. Okay. uh, it's, you see the features of it, you see the advantages of it, you see the use cases which can be solved using Java. These days there are multiple technologies available, all are good. Okay, there is no compromise. I mean, whatever the use case you have, you need to decide your technology based on that. Okay, Java has really good community support, it's open source. You know, any problem you are facing, you go to Stack Overflow, find the solution of it, you will find it. So that's why Java is more popular. So any technology that you know, go with, make sure that you have good community support there, which is very essential these days. Yep.
Yes, sir. It is true that Java dominated before and will continue to do so. And I'm sure after listening to you, I hope that all the participants' enthusiasm to learn Java and enhance their skills through our webinar has increased.
Great.
So, sir, could you please tell us about the key learnings from the vast experience you had, which would help all of us, the CS engineering students, in the coming years?
Sure. So, you know, one of the major learning I have is, you know, that never stop learning. Okay. Once you put brake on your learning car, okay, you stop driving it, or, you know, you take a break for a couple of years, then you will get obsolete. Okay. The technologies are changing day by day. You can, you know, earlier when, you know, people used to work on C or C++, they used to think nothing is better than this. When we are talking about Java, we may think nothing is better than Java, but there are technologies which are, you know, doing better. Probably they are not solving all the use cases. Okay, but whatever the specific area that you want any technology to use, there are best technologies available there. And Java, you know, was able to solve almost all those areas, cover all those areas. That's why it's very popular. You you have good job demand. If you know you want to search jobs, then you will find the most number of jobs available with Java. Why? Because all, many big organizations, they have their footprint with Java, and they have built these systems, I mean such a huge systems, that they don't really want to move away of it. They don't see any disadvantages of doing that, and they really don't want to move away of it, because it will incur them a huge cost, and if there is no advantage to putting cost, then it doesn't make sense. So yeah, I mean, for CS engineering students, I would say, you know, uh, learn it if you are interested in it. Okay, have a core understanding of Java, and along with that, get awareness about other technologies as well, which use cases what can serve. So about cloud security, microservices, NoSQL databases, all those, you know, you should get familiarity about.
So there's a question raised from our audience.
Mhm.
He's asking if you have to choose one from Python or Java, what would
Mhm.
it be?
So as I said, you know, you cannot just choose
Yeah.
any programming language without the use case. Okay, what is the use case that you are trying to solve? Okay, as per my understanding, if you are trying to solve any AI ML related problem, okay, Python is getting very popular there. It's being used very exhaustively. Okay, but if you are trying to build enterprise level apps, let's say, you know, you need to build some billing application, you need to build any considering any bank as your you are working for any bank, you need to build you know, payment system, you need to build transaction management systems. So, all those can very easily be built with Java. It has proven track record, so it can be very helpful there. But I mean, if you know you are interested to learn both, you learn both. If you are interested to learn any one of them, learn any one of them, but get some awareness about the other one. Okay, and try to have the core understanding, you know, build deep understanding about that any particular language.
Well said, sir. We should never stop learning and explore different and new fields around us. Also, we should have a core understanding of every new technology which is going on right now. And definitely, we will keep all these points in our mind. So, sir, today everything is technology based, and several new technological innovations are also coming up.
Mhm.
So, which technologies attract you the most and you like working on mainly?
Yep. So, as I said, you should never think about, like this is the only technology that I will ever work for. I like it so much. I love it, and I love coding in it. I cannot, think anything beyond this. That's the first thought that we need to remove from our head. And about the technologies which are very common these days, so as I mentioned, the cloud technologies. So cloud generally, people have understanding of that it's used for deployment. Okay, instead of deploying on your own boxes, you don't need to worry about servers, and the capacity is concerned and all, or saving cost, you need to use cloud. But it has much more than that to offer. Okay, you can use services these days. You can build even serverless APIs as well, where you don't need to really instantiate any new server, and you just write the API code there. It provides a lot of services. You can build your entire application using just the cloud. Okay, it has got that much of capabilities these days. Microservices is another uh, trendy technology, or the architecture which organizations are adopting. So that enables you to write small scalable applications, which has its own pros and it has its cons as well. So every technology that you adopt, make sure that you also analyze the cons of it. Okay, so these are a couple of technologies. I can say in terms of databases as well. These days there are 20 different databases, or even more than that. Okay, at a time when I was studying, we only used to learn Oracle, SQL, PL SQL, that's it. But these days there are so many different type of databases. There are multiple varieties of NoSQL databases as well, and you cannot learn all of them. Okay, don't even try to learn all of them. You won't be good in anything then. But be aware that what are all kind of problems that they can solve. Okay, when what should be used, and then you can, if you get a use case, okay, I'm getting this use case, then you can go deep inside it. And it's very much necessary that you are aware of current latest technologies trends, what's going on. Sessions like these, or I'm sure your institute must be conducting many more sessions. You guys have good learning material these days. Now the books is not the only source of learning. You have multiple online channels as well, like Udemy, YouTube. That's where also you can learn and get information about.
You are right, sir. Innovations like cloud microservices are the technical innovations, like they are quite new, useful, and attractive for all of us. So we are trying our best to learn all of them and gain some knowledge.
Okay.
So here comes one more question, like where do you see the future will head towards in the coming years in the field of technical area?
Sure. So nobody can predict that, trust me. It's not realistic if I tell you, this technology will survive for 10 more years, or this will be the one which will be at number one. So it's the era of technology. Okay, every day we see a disruption happening. Okay, nobody had thought about that the cloud would come and it will change the way that we work. There is a lot of automation going on. Okay, people are afraid about that will it reduce the jobs. Okay, but I would like to tell you that it's going to increase the jobs, as long as you adapt to it, as long as you try to learn from it. Okay, so don't try to catch run behind the technology. Just look at the current trend, what is going on, and pick the best from that. That's what we should focus on. But for, I can say for a couple of years from now, cloud microservices, AI, ML, they are not going to go away. Okay, technologies don't die that sudden. They remain there for, pretty long years, until the other technology built that much, that community support which I was talking about, and it's very easy to use. They go through phases, okay. So that's how, technologies won't die. So if you want to learn Java, it's not going to die very soon. It's going to be there. It's going to be fulfilling all the needs it is serving currently. And there is active development happening. You see new releases coming, so they are evolving. You should be aware that if any technology you are using and there is no active development happening, they are not releasing any new versions of that particular technology for a couple of years, that something is, trigger point for you to worry about, that whether it is going to be sustainable. Okay.
Thank you. So that was very insightful to know all about cloud, AI, ML, which are advancing, and they
Yeah.
will definitely be better in the
Yeah.
coming years.
So as you said, cloud, AI, ML will be advancing and will never fade away. Will always be there. Do not run behind technologies. So people are afraid that automation would destroy jobs, but it will make them easier, I think.
Yep,
That is
yep.
still done.
It makes your work easier.
Yeah.
If you don't want to learn, then people get afraid.
Hmm.
Okay, but if you are learning, then there is so much scope. I do also, recruitment for my organization, my team, and I see, people sometimes get stuck at one place. They are not moving ahead, and we look for a lot of talented guys, lot of talented people, and every time, we have these days, in IT industry, there are so many openings. If you need to find a job. It's the best industry, I would say, since the pandemic, especially because our lives didn't get our work life didn't get affected because of it. The work from home is started from day one. So yep, I mean, that's what I
Yeah.
wanted to convey.
Okay. So, sir, from your perspective, what are the risk factors involved in today's world in technology space?
Yeah.
Can you just state some of the?
Yeah, I think I covered some of it, that
Yeah.
technologies get obsolete as well. So keep you need to be aware that what
Mhm.
technologies are getting obsolete, and what is the switch that you can make. Okay. uh, while you switch to the technologies, or you try to have, so when you build the microservices framework, when you build the you deployed your application on cloud, okay, it increases a lot of complexity as well in managing. You need to be aware of that. Okay, it's not just that any technology, any new fancy technology I heard of, I jump to it. It adds complexity to it. When we used to write C program, our life was much easier, I would say. Okay, it was not able to meet all the requirements, or we were not able to build the softwares as per the need of current world. Okay, but the developer's life was easier because there were limited complexities there. And now, since new technologies, now you need to learn a lot of technologies as well. That becomes complex, so it makes your solutions, your project complex. So you need to make sure that you do not unnecessarily complex your project, or complex your the development or the activity that you are trying to build. So be aware about that. And yeah, I mean, uh,
Yes. Yes.
that's the only risk that I see.
Yeah. These are some really good points to note down for building our future. Yeah.
Okay.
And so, sir, as the pandemic has led to Indian citizens adopting digital payments, so
Mhm.
how has the working culture and strategies changed? And do you think that in the near future would this continue, or people may switch back to cash?
Never.
Yeah.
This is something I can tell you with absolutely certainty, that it's never going to happen, that people will switch back to cash. You may want some of the payments to be made by cash, but not all. And in coming days, I see more digitization coming to it. We all know how the digital world has changed our lives. Who doesn't like to shop from Amazon or Flipkart, or have cabs coming at your door, and you are getting food from your favorite restaurant at your home. This was not the case 10 years ago.
Yes.
But this is the situation now. We live in current world, and this is going to be increased. So digitization is not going to end. It's going to increase only. The cash payment is going to get obsolete. You will see that very less transactions would happen now. If the businesses in India, certainly they use cash a lot. Okay, but once you guys will go to you live in cities, and in the cities mostly, whatever shopping that you would be doing, I'm sure you would be using digital mode only.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So, sir, what advice will you give the college and the school students to become ready and successful for the coming years? Like, what are the things we should focus on to make ourselves ready for the industry?
Mhm.
Basically, the skills and the qualities which are required in
Right,
today's employment.
right. So what I've seen these days is, people want to add everything in their resume. They would add Java, they would add Python, they would add C, they would add Oracle, they would add NoSQL databases, cloud, everything. Okay, but when you ask them about basics, data structures and algorithms, when you ask them about basic core Java, they fail there. Okay, organizations tend to invest into guys, or invest into the candidates who have their basics very clear. Okay, even if they don't know cloud, even if they don't know fancy technology, but any one language that they have decided they will be using in their career, they have good in-depth knowledge of it. They have very conceptual knowledge of it. They are very good at data structure algorithms, which you learn in your curriculum, I believe so. So those are the basic things you should not never underestimate while running for the newer or latest technologies. So basics should never be compromised. Okay, so that's the one note everybody should have in their mind, and be aware about the latest technologies. Just the awareness is important. What it does, how it does, have few basic things, learn few basic things about it. What kind of problem it solves, what's the advantages or disadvantages, pros and cons of it. That kind of information, if you have, it's sufficient at your level, at the students coming out from college at their level. This kind of information is sufficient.
Thank you so much, sir, for your wise words and making this session very engaging one. Your advice about not complicating things will really be helpful for all of us. With this, we end the Q&A session. It was indeed a delightful talking to you, sir, and we will definitely keep in mind the advice given by you. Thanks again, sir, for joining us today.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
Dhruv. Thank you, Amisha. Thank you, NMIS team. It's pleasure. It was my pleasure to have this session with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dhruv and Amisha. Um, with this, we'll now begin with our session on GUI game programming with Java by our session experts for today, Ms. Ayushi Sharda and Ms. Anushka Jain, students of MBA Tech Computer Engineering, third year, STME and MIMS Indore.